Most people think powerful women are born different. They think confidence is something you either have or you don't. But the truth is, powerful women don't think the way everyone else thinks. When the world tells them to seek approval, they seek purpose. When people doubt them, they build discipline. And when life becomes difficult, they don't shrink, they grow. Because real power is not about being louder. It's about knowing your worth without needing permission from anyone else. And today, I want to talk about the mindset that separates ordinary women from truly powerful women. The habits, the decisions, and the way they see themselves and the world differently. Because the moment a woman changes the way she thinks, she changes the direction of her entire life. One of the biggest differences between powerful women and everyone else is that they do not build their lives around validation. Most people spend years trying to be accepted, like approved, and praised by others. They adjust their personality to fit into rooms that were never meant for them. They stay quiet to avoid criticism. They lower their standards to keep people comfortable. And slowly, without realizing it, they lose their identity because they become addicted to the opinions of others. Powerful women think differently. They understand that validation is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. They do not wake up every morning asking, "Will people like me?" Instead, they ask themselves, "Am I becoming the person I want to be?" That single shift in mindset changes everything. Because the moment a woman stops chasing approval, she starts building confidence from within. The world often teaches women to measure their worth through attention. Social media rewards appearances. Society rewards pleasing behavior. People celebrate women who never say no, who always sacrifice themselves, and who constantly seek acceptance. But powerful women recognize this trap early. They understand that needing constant validation gives other people control over your emotions. If your happiness depends on applause, criticism will destroy you. If your confidence depends on compliments, rejection will break you. That is why powerful women learn to stand alone. Not because they hate people, but because they trust themselves. They know that not everyone will understand their vision, their goals, or their growth. And they are comfortable with that. They do not waste energy trying to convince everyone to support them. They focus on becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined every single day. A powerful woman can walk into a room without needing to prove her value. She does not compete for attention because she already knows her worth. She speaks with clarity because her confidence is not borrowed from other people's opinions. And even when she faces criticism, she does not collapse emotionally. She listens, learns if necessary, and continues moving forward. Many people confuse validation with love. They believe that if people praise them, they are valuable. But powerful women understand something deeper. Real value is created privately before it is ever recognized publicly. The strongest women are often building themselves quietly while nobody notices. They are improving their mindset, protecting their peace, developing discipline, and creating standards that cannot be shaken by outside opinions. When a woman no longer needs approval to make decisions, she becomes dangerous in the best possible way. She stops tolerating disrespect. She stops chasing people who ignore her worth. She stops apologizing for her ambition, her intelligence, and her boundaries. She becomes more focused because her energy is no longer wasted trying to impress everyone around her. And the truth is, the people who constantly seek validation are usually the easiest to control. They become dependent on praise. They fear rejection so much that they abandon their authenticity. But powerful women refuse to live like that. They would rather be respected for who they truly are than loved for pretending to be someone else. Most people believe confidence appears before action. They wait to feel ready before they speak, before they start, before they take risks, and before they step into uncomfortable situations. They think confident people are simply born different. But powerful women understand something most people never realize. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build through action. A woman does not become confident by repeating positive words in front of a mirror while avoiding challenges in real life. Real confidence is created when someone repeatedly proves to themselves that they can survive discomfort, uncertainty, failure, and fear. Every difficult decision, every uncomfortable conversation, every moment of discipline becomes evidence that strengthens self-belief. Powerful women know that fear never completely disappears. Even successful people feel doubt. Even strong people feel nervous. The difference is that powerful women do not allow emotions to control their decisions. They move forward even when they are afraid. They take action before they feel completely prepared because they understand that growth only happens through movement. Most people stay trapped because they overthink everything. They analyze every possibility, every risk, and every opinion. They wait for the perfect moment that never arrives. Meanwhile, powerful women understand that action creates clarity. The moment you begin, you learn. The moment you try, you grow. And the moment you survive difficult experiences, your confidence becomes stronger than any fear you once had. This is why powerful women are willing to fail publicly. They are willing to look inexperienced in the beginning because they understand that mastery comes later. They do not expect perfection from themselves immediately. Instead, they focus on progress. Every small action becomes a step toward becoming stronger mentally and emotionally. Many people pretend to be confident through words alone. They speak loudly, seek attention, and constantly try to appear successful. But powerful women understand that real confidence is quiet. It does not need constant validation. It comes from knowing you can handle challenges because you have already faced difficult situations before. A woman who keeps promises to herself naturally becomes more confident. When she says she will improve her health and actually stays disciplined, confidence grows. When she decides to protect her peace and finally sets boundaries, confidence grows. When she enters rooms that intimidate her instead of avoiding them, confidence grows. Self-belief is built through evidence, not imagination. Powerful women also understand that confidence is connected to preparation. They invest in learning, improving skills, strengthening their mindset, and becoming emotionally disciplined. Because when preparation meets action, fear loses power. The more capable someone becomes, the less they rely on fake confidence and external approval. There are many talented women who remain invisible because they never take action. Their ideas stay inside their minds. Their potential remains unused because fear convinces them to stay comfortable. But powerful women understand that waiting for confidence first is one of the biggest mistakes a person can make. Action comes first. Confidence follows later. And over time, every challenge they face becomes proof that they are stronger than they once believed. Every risk teaches them resilience. Every failure teaches them wisdom. Every uncomfortable moment teaches them that growth is impossible without courage. That is why powerful women are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear decide the direction of their lives. A person's standards reveal how much they truly value themselves. Not their words, not their appearance, and not the image they show to the world. Standards are the invisible rules that shape decisions, relationships, habits, and behavior. Powerful women understand this deeply. They know that self-worth is not something people can fake for long because eventually their standards expose the truth. Many people say they respect themselves, but their choices tell a different story. They tolerate disrespect just to avoid loneliness. They stay in unhealthy environments because they are afraid of change. They allow people to waste their time, ignore their boundaries, and drain their energy. And over time, low standards slowly destroy confidence because every compromise sends a message to the mind that says, "I do not deserve better." Powerful women think differently. They understand that standards are a form of self-respect. The way a woman allows herself to be treated teaches other people how to treat her. If she constantly accepts dishonesty, inconsistency, manipulation, and disrespect, people will continue giving her exactly that. But when a woman raises her standards, everything around her begins to change. A powerful woman does not beg for attention, love, or respect because she knows her value is not determined by someone else's ability to recognize it. She would rather walk away from situations that damage her peace than stay in places where she feels unseen and unappreciated. That mindset requires strength because raising standards often means disappointing people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. The world often pressures women to lower their standards in order to be accepted. Society praises women who are endlessly available, endlessly forgiving, and endlessly sacrificing themselves for others. But powerful women recognize the danger in this. They understand that constantly abandoning yourself to please others eventually creates resentment, exhaustion, and emotional emptiness. High standards are not about arrogance or believing you are better than others. They are about understanding what aligns with your values and what does not. A powerful woman protects her time because she understands time is life. She protects her energy because she knows peace is valuable. She protects her mind because negative environments can slowly weaken ambition, discipline, and self-belief. Standards also shape personal growth. Powerful women do not only expect more from others, they expect more from themselves. They hold themselves accountable. They develop discipline even when motivation disappears. They refuse to stay trapped in excuses because they know excuses create average lives. They challenge themselves to grow mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. A woman with high standards does not settle for temporary comfort at the cost of long-term happiness. She understands that loneliness is better than constantly feeling disrespected. She understands that discipline is better than regret. She understands that protecting her dignity matters more than chasing approval. Many people are uncomfortable around women with strong standards because limits remove access. Boundaries force people to become more intentional. Weak-minded individuals often call strong women difficult, simply because they cannot control them. But powerful women are willing to be misunderstood if it means protecting their peace, values, and future. And the moment a woman truly understands her worth, her standards naturally rise. She becomes more careful about who she allows into her life, what environments she tolerates, and what habits she accepts from herself. Because self-worth is not just something you say. It is something you demonstrate through the standards you refuse to lower. Most people want power, success, confidence, and respect, but very few people are willing to develop discipline. They rely on motivation instead of structure. They wait to feel inspired before taking action. And because emotions constantly change, their consistency disappears the moment life becomes difficult. Powerful women understand something different. They know that discipline is the foundation of inner power. A disciplined woman does not depend on mood to determine her actions. She understands that feelings are temporary, but habits shape identity. This is why powerful women continue working even on the days they feel tired, unmotivated, or emotionally drained. They do not allow temporary emotions to control permanent goals. Discipline creates a level of self-trust that most people never experience. Every time a woman keeps a promise to herself, her confidence grows stronger. When she commits to improving her health and remains consistent, she builds trust within herself. When she decides to protect her peace and stops entertaining toxic behavior, she strengthens her emotional discipline. When she continues learning, growing, and improving even when nobody is watching, she develops quiet strength. Powerful women understand that discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. Most people choose what feels easy in the moment. They procrastinate, avoid difficult conversations, ignore responsibilities, and escape discomfort through distractions. But powerful women realize that avoiding discomfort today usually creates bigger pain tomorrow. The strongest women are not always the loudest women. Often, they are the ones quietly building routines that protect their future. They wake up early to work on their goals. They train their minds to stay focused. They control their impulses instead of allowing emotions to control them. And over time, these small daily actions create extraordinary mental strength. Discipline also gives women independence. A woman who is disciplined financially, emotionally, mentally, and physically becomes difficult to manipulate. She no longer depends entirely on other people for stability because she has built strength within herself. That is why discipline is deeply connected to freedom. The more control you gain over yourself, the less control the world gains over you. Many people think discipline removes happiness, but powerful women understand the opposite is true. Lack of discipline creates chaos. It creates stress, regret, insecurity, and emotional instability. Discipline creates peace because it builds order in life. A disciplined woman knows she can rely on herself even during difficult seasons. There will always be moments when motivation disappears. There will be days when progress feels slow and effort feels exhausting. Powerful women expect those moments instead of being surprised by them. They understand that consistency matters more than temporary excitement. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. Real strength appears when someone continues moving forward without external encouragement. Discipline also changes the way a woman sees herself. Every difficult action completed becomes proof of capability. Every challenge faced instead of avoided increases resilience. Over time, discipline transforms identity. A woman stops seeing herself as weak, emotional, or uncertain because her actions repeatedly prove otherwise. The reason disciplined women appear powerful is because they are no longer controlled by every distraction, craving fear or emotion. They have trained themselves to focus on what truly matters. While others seek instant gratification, powerful women build lives based on patience, consistency, and long-term vision. And eventually, discipline creates something deeper than success. It creates stability within the mind, a calm confidence that comes from knowing you can trust yourself to keep going no matter how difficult life becomes. One of the greatest signs of strength is emotional control. Most people think power comes from dominance, loudness, or aggression. They believe the strongest person in the room is the one who reacts quickly, speaks the loudest, or forces others to submit. But powerful women understand something deeper. Real strength is the ability to remain calm, focused, and controlled even when emotions are intense. Anyone can react emotionally. Anyone can lose control during stress, anger, rejection, or disappointment. But controlling emotions requires maturity, discipline, and self-awareness. Powerful women understand that emotions are important, but emotions should never become the leader of decisions. They allow themselves to feel, but they do not allow temporary feelings to destroy long-term goals. The world constantly tests emotional stability. People will criticize, disrespect, manipulate, reject, misunderstand, and disappoint you. Unexpected problems will appear. Difficult situations will create pressure. And in those moments, emotional control becomes a form of protection. Because when emotions take over completely, people often make decisions they regret later. Powerful women know the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is immediate and emotional. Responding is intentional and controlled. A reactive person allows outside situations to control their inner state. But a powerful woman pauses before she speaks, thinks before she acts, and protects her peace instead of feeding unnecessary drama. This does not mean powerful women are emotionless. In fact, emotionally strong women often feel deeply. The difference is that they have learned how to process emotions without becoming consumed by them. They understand that anger can cloud judgment, insecurity can create desperation, and fear can create poor decisions. That is why they refuse to let emotions completely control their actions. Many people confuse emotional control with weakness because calm people are often underestimated. But emotional stability is one of the hardest forms of strength to develop. It is easy to stay calm when life is comfortable. Real emotional power appears during pressure, conflict, disappointment, and uncertainty. A powerful woman does not need to prove herself through emotional outbursts. She does not argue endlessly with people who refuse to understand her. She does not chase people who choose to leave. She does not allow small problems to destroy her focus. Instead, she protects her energy carefully because she understands that peace is valuable. Emotional control also changes relationships. A woman who can manage her emotions communicates more clearly, sets stronger boundaries, and avoids unnecessary chaos. She becomes harder to manipulate because manipulative people often rely on emotional reactions to gain control. But when someone remains calm and aware, manipulation loses its power. Powerful women also understand the importance of emotional recovery. They know that pain, heartbreak, and disappointment are part of life. But they refuse to stay emotionally broken forever. Instead of allowing pain to destroy them, they use difficult experiences as lessons that strengthen wisdom and resilience. Most people are controlled by emotions they never learned to understand. Anger controls their words. Fear controls their choices. Insecurity controls their relationships. But powerful women spend time understanding themselves. They become aware of their triggers, weaknesses, and emotional patterns so they can respond with greater clarity. And over time, emotional control creates a quiet confidence that cannot easily be shaken by outside circumstances. Because when a woman learns to control her inner world, the outside world loses much of its power over her. Most people make decisions based on temporary emotions and short-term comfort. They focus on what feels good right now instead of thinking about the long-term consequences of their actions. Powerful women think differently. They understand that every decision shapes the future, and because of that, they are willing to sacrifice immediate pleasure for long-term growth, stability, and success. A powerful woman does not allow temporary feelings to destroy permanent opportunities. She understands that life is built through consistent choices repeated over time. Small habits, daily routines, relationships, and personal standards may seem insignificant in the moment, but over the years, they shape identity, success, and peace of mind. This long-term mindset changes the way powerful women approach almost everything. They do not enter relationships simply because they are lonely. They think carefully about compatibility, respect, values, and emotional stability because they understand that the wrong relationship can damage years of growth. They are patient enough to walk away from situations that only provide temporary satisfaction but create long-term pain. Powerful women also think long-term when it comes to personal growth. While many people seek quick success and instant results, disciplined women focus on building strong foundations. They understand that real transformation takes time. Confidence, emotional strength, financial stability, wisdom, and self-respect are not created overnight. These things are built slowly through consistency, patience, and discipline. Many people quit too early because they are addicted to immediate results. They want success without struggle, confidence without discomfort, and growth without sacrifice. But powerful women understand that meaningful progress often feels invisible in the beginning. They continue improving themselves even when recognition does not come immediately because they are focused on who they are becoming in the future. Thinking long-term also changes emotional behavior. A powerful woman does not destroy her peace for temporary attention. She does not sacrifice her dignity for short-term validation. She understands that impulsive decisions often create regret. That is why she becomes more intentional with her words, actions, and choices. The ability to think long-term creates emotional maturity. Instead of reacting emotionally in every situation, powerful women pause and ask themselves important questions. Will this matter in 5 years? Does this align with the future I want? Is this decision helping me grow or slowing me down? These questions create clarity and protect them from unnecessary mistakes. Powerful women are also willing to endure short-term discomfort for future freedom. They work hard when others are distracted. They invest in learning when others waste time. They protect their finances when others chase appearances. They focus on discipline when others seek instant gratification. And over time, these sacrifices create opportunities that emotionally impulsive people often never experience. A long-term mindset also creates resilience during difficult periods. Powerful women understand that setbacks are temporary. Failure does not define the future unless someone gives up completely. Because they think beyond the present moment, they are able to remain patient during slow progress and difficult seasons. Many people live reactively, constantly controlled by emotions, trends, and external pressure. But powerful women become intentional architects of their future. They understand that every day is either building the life they want or moving them further away from it. And because they think long-term, they make decisions differently. They choose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, peace over chaos, and purpose over temporary excitement. While others focus only on surviving today, powerful women quietly prepare themselves for the future they truly desire. Everything changes when a woman truly begins to respect herself. Her mindset changes, her behavior changes, her relationships change, and even the way the world responds to her begins to change. Because self-respect is not just an internal feeling. It becomes visible through standards, boundaries, discipline, confidence, and the decisions a woman is willing or unwilling to accept. Many people spend years searching for respect from others while ignoring the relationship they have with themselves. They tolerate behavior that hurts them. They remain in situations that destroy their peace. They constantly seek approval from people who do not value them. And over time, this slowly weakens confidence because every act of self-betrayal sends a message to the mind that says, "My feelings and needs do not matter." Powerful women think differently. They understand that self-respect is the foundation of everything else in life. Without it, people become emotionally dependent on validation, attention, and acceptance. But when a woman respects herself, she no longer allows others to define her worth. Self-respect changes the way a woman communicates. She becomes more honest and direct because she no longer fears rejection as deeply as before. She stops pretending to be someone else just to fit in. She stops shrinking herself to make insecure people comfortable. Instead, she becomes comfortable standing in her truth, even if not everyone agrees with her. A woman with self-respect also learns the power of boundaries. She understands that protecting her peace is not selfish. It is necessary. She no longer allows toxic behavior, unlimited access to her life simply because she fears disappointing people. She realizes that constantly sacrificing herself for others eventually creates emotional exhaustion and resentment. Many people mistake self-respect for arrogance because confident women are harder to control. Weak-minded individuals often become uncomfortable around women who know their worth because boundaries remove easy access. A woman who respects herself cannot easily be manipulated through guilt, attention, or emotional games. Self-respect also changes the choices a woman makes daily. She becomes more disciplined with her habits because she understands her future matters. She takes care of her health, because she values herself. She becomes more selective with relationships because she understands that energy is contagious. She stops accepting environments that constantly damage her mental and emotional well-being. A powerful woman does not chase people who repeatedly disrespect her. She does not beg for loyalty, attention, or love. She understands that forcing connections usually leads to pain. Instead, she walks away from situations that no longer align with her values, even when leaving feels difficult. This level of self-respect creates a quiet confidence that cannot easily be destroyed by criticism or rejection. Because when someone truly values themselves, outside opinions lose much of their power. Approval becomes optional instead of necessary. Powerful women also understand that self-respect requires accountability. It is not only about demanding better treatment from others, it is also about becoming better personally. It means being honest about weaknesses, correcting destructive habits, and refusing to stay trapped in excuses. The reason self-respect changes everything is because it influences every area of life. It changes standards, relationships, habits, emotional strength, and long-term decisions. A woman who respects herself naturally raises the quality of everything she allows into her life. And once a woman fully understands her worth, she becomes far less willing to settle for anything that continuously drains her peace, weakens her confidence, or forces her to abandon who she truly is.